So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how to create body paragraphs for a research paper. They're tricky to do, and we all struggle with them. I'm just here with Izzy and just enjoying the summer. So if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Massack. I'm Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help me out that I want to pay the favor forward to help you out as much as I possibly can. So there's kids in the neighborhood that are playing around. So if you hear that, just uh, just put up with it. All right. So in terms of learning how to write academic papers, so I'm going to be the upfront and tell you that I don't know how to do it as much or as good as some people, but I can give you some pointers in terms of working through some of these things. I write a lot as part of the career, and this is hopefully going to help you do better with your writing. So there's kind of a bit of a formula to writing these paragraphs in terms of what you're doing. And, the first thing that you have to do is to think about what the paragraph is going to be about and sort of mold that. You might not know what it's going to be about when you start. However, as you go through it, maybe you have to iterate a few times. You probably should have a sense of what is the main purpose or the main idea that you're going to be talking about in the paragraph. So in the first sentence, what you should be doing in the paragraph is just writing a really, really short sentence, and that is going to be the main point of your entire paragraph. And the shorter, the better. If you can make it just even like a few words, 5, 6, 7 words, it's going to be much better than something that's longer. And I've learned that over years and years and years of doing these things, because what people do, if you didn't know that, they skim research papers all the time. And so what you tend to do is just read that first paragraph or that first sentence in the paragraph. So the shorter, more succinct, more concise that you can do with that paragraph, the better off it's going to be. And then people are going to understand what you're doing. They're rarely going to take a deep dive and talk or think about what you're doing unless it's somebody that's actually really treating it seriously. Then the next sentence is kind of it's kind of a bridging sentence that you do, where you're bridging that sort of main point with the rest of the points of what you're trying to talk about in each in the paragraph. So, kind of let me explain what I'm talking about here. It would be something like the first sentence, it's like, I like cats, okay? And then the second sentence would be, there's several reasons why I really like cats, something along those lines. And then you'd go into, the reasons or the points of why you actually like cats. And each one of those, each sentence after that is usually 2 or 3 points. You don't want to go too much. If you go too much, it gets too long and, it gets long-winded. You usually have some sort of citation for each one of those points of what you're trying to do, or maybe several citations for what you're trying to do. And it's really kind of hard to figure out, what is the right combination. And people have sort of different flares on how much they should cite and what they should do. So you might end up, so you might end up citing a lot, or you might cite a little bit, and that's kind of really personal preference, I think, what I've seen. People that they really get it, and they can sort of put things together very well, they tend to not cite as much, but it takes an awful lot of skill to get to that point, versus other people that would probably want to have more citations within a research paper. So just have that in mind. And then, a lot of times people will say have a closing sentence. I actually don't find that, and it really just depends on the paragraph in terms of the transition you want to make to the next paragraph. Sometimes you want that closing sentence so there's a nice transition. Sometimes you don't, and you just jump into the next paragraph. It just makes things a little bit quicker, and it's a lot more succinct in terms of jumping into it. So the most important thing, I want to summarize this, is coming up with that initial really short sentence. The shorter, more concise, the better of what you're trying to talk about within the paragraph, Once you have that nailed down, the rest of it is pretty easy in terms of putting, stuff in there. But there's going to be lots and lots of iterations, tons and tons of iterations that you're going to go through until you sort of have the point of what you're trying to say. And that's really it in terms of writing these body paragraphs in a research paper. Just making sure that you kind of have that really short sentence at the beginning, some sort of adjoining sentence in between that, and then your points that you're going to be talking about after that. And that's the general structure, I think, of most body paragraphs within a research paper. So hopefully this helps you. Give me a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Take care and have a wonderful day. All right. Bye.